What's up, Devils? J-Dog's back to answer some more goddamn fucking Devils. And today we're going to answer the ones on Dismember, the most wanted reunion video. Came out, says 6 days ago. So fuck, as usual, I'm behind, but that's no problem. Like I said, too much, not better than not enough, right? And it's got 28 total comments. Just a few comments, just nothing worth reading off. But then there's definitely some pretty decent questions in here. Um, so I saw three for sure on top. I just kind of simply was like, yeah, we'll go over this video and see where it goes. If I have to go to the second one, if I don't know enough, then we will. But yeah, we'll just start here. And yeah, here the fuck we go. And the first one I thought, well, decent sized one, and it's from somebody I haven't ever seen before. I didn't recognize this one, at least not questions. And it's from Goat666DB. So shout out to you, brah. Hey, J-Dog, discovered your channel last week. Oh, that's why I didn't see him. He just fucking discovered the channel. Sweet. And subscribed since I heard you on Hellcast before. Oh, sweet. Cool. We are the same age. I was born in 84. So I relate to some of your stories and opinions. Some of the poser stories are fucking hilarious. Well, appreciate that. Got one question. I know you said you don't listen to a ton of newer bands, but do you have an opinion on new standard elite records and or any modern brutal death metal bands? Some of my favorite NSE releases are from Delusional, Parasitosis, Iniquitous Deeds, Eschimosis, and the Disentomb album Misery. Long comment, I know. Keep up the quality content, dude. Don't really have too much of an opinion on either one of them. Most of those bands you just mentioned there, I kind of recognize the names, so maybe we had them in the distro, so that's the only reason, but I definitely never heard any of them. It's kind of sounding probably a little bit too modern to me. It reminds me of a lot of those names, remind me of a lot of the Severed Records titles, and a lot of his stuff I wasn't a fan of, and that's kind of like, I guess it kind of stems into the modern brutal death metal bands. It's like, do I like any? I mean, I guess it just first you got to define what's modern. You know what I mean? Is it we talking the last 1 to 2 years? We talking 10 years? What's fucking modern? Because in my opinion, when I think of like modern death metal or where I kind of like lost touch was kind of like when Severed Records was doing it like '05, '06, '07, '08. And I'm not trashing his stuff. I know he's really into brutal stuff, and it's cool that he's got his niche. It's just like to me, is like that's when it was modern, when it was kind of taking like Discord from California, Devourment, and that type of stuff, and like just kind of like just rehashing again and again and again, and it just all sounded the same, and it all had like a really crystal clear fucking studio. I mean, I'm not gonna say all because I'm not that I heard all of it, but just the ones that I've heard, and it just seems like they're all like the logos are looking the same, and it just they're having the gory covers, which I'm all for the gory covers, but a lot of them are like photoshopped. It just had this really modern look slash feel sound to it from the ones I've heard. And yeah, I wasn't really a fan of it personally. That's kind of where I was cut off with that scene in a sense. But I mean, there are modern bands that I do like. Like I've said if you catch up on the other videos, like I really and as far as brutal shit, two of them are brutal stuff. Pharmacist from Japan, I love them, and I'm really loving Melting Rot, the album Blood Delusions. God damn it, who the fuck's calling me? God damn it. Fucking goddamn soliciting. Dickheads calling me during a video every fucking time. So yeah, those are two. About the Melting Rod is like really like Dead Infection Worship, the grindcore. I especially love the vocals on that. But it's cool because it's modern, but it's Dead Infection Worship, but there's not these ass fucking triggers. That was the problem with a lot of those brutal bands too. Some of the triggers were just sounded horrendous, and it has kind of like almost like a raw like 80s grindcore punk edge, if that makes any sense. Like just the way the drums were played and just the sound of it, and then the vocals were just over the top on top of it. So I really liked that. And Pharmacist with pure carcass fucking worship. And then said about the band Morgul, black metal band, really like them. The Faustian Pact, they did a new album, that was good. What other modern stuff? Abysmal Lords, yeah, I consider them like a more modern band. I like them. So yeah, newer bands that I do like for sure, and I like those bands quite a bit that I just mentioned. So yeah, it's not like I don't check out newer bands like that. But if you just think modern death metal, again, it depends how you define it. But when I hear that word modern death metal, it's just kind of like just generic stuff that's been done a million times and just coming out today. And generally speaking, no. I mean, I don't like most of it, but you know what I mean. From Layla Lover 90, question: do you think there's a difference in the attitudes of older versus newer bands and after show decorum? For example, I recently saw Obituary with younger bands, Gatecreeper and Enforced. I noticed while the younger bands got into their vans after their set, Obituary interacted with the crowd. They threw out pics, took pictures, and chatted with fans and signed merch. this may just be a one-off, but I wonder if older bands just have a different attitude when it comes to fan interaction shows. I never noticed it, never really paid that much attention. The first thing I would kind of say in regards to that is kind of like, well, you're comparing Obituary versus, would you say, Gatecreeper and Enforcer? It's kind of like, no offense to Gatecreeper and Enforcer, I think those are pretty decent bands, but I mean, who the fuck are they in comparison? I mean, Obituary is like a legend. So I'm not saying I have to be mean to them, but it's kind of like they're in a compared to Obituary, they're kind of a bunch of nobodies still. They haven't put their time in yet, right? Because I can say this. I mean, I've seen obviously, all the bigger bands, Obituary, Deicide, Cannibal Corpse, Morbid Angel, and as you guys know, I showed a lot of story time and photos when I met these guys. None of them were just kind of like, one of the times I met Cannibal, they kind of were hanging out in the crowd, but a lot of times when I met them, I had to hound these guys down, whether either try to get backstage or wait for them to come off the stage after the show or meet them outside their bus, that type of stuff. So I met them, but kind of had to hound them down. So even then, they weren't hanging out with the crowd. If Obituary is doing that now, my guess would be kind of like I said, now they're somebodies, and the time 20 years and plus ago, they were the kind of nobodies in a sense because they're still a newer band building up their name, right? So my guess is they're doing it because, in a sense, they almost have to, or maybe not have to, but they probably should. It's kind of like you guys have been around. You're a legendary act now. Who the fuck doesn't like Slowly Rot and Cause of Death, right? The monumental fucking staple in the death metal scene. One of the greats, one of the legends, one of the creators, right? So it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, people are going to want to meet you, right? And then that you should. I mean, you should kind of give back. I mean, without your fans, you wouldn't even, because I'm sure that they make a living off their band, and that's what they want to do, and that's good for them. But without your fans, you wouldn't be able to fucking do that. So yeah, you should pay some respect and not fucking try to be some sellout fucking Rob Zombie or whatever, and like I'm too good to hang out with these guys. I'm a fucking millionaire. You know what I mean? Pay to get my autograph, that type of nonsense. Because they're still in a sense, even though they're a big band, they are still kind of underground compared to the All in All. So that's my guess. I mean, if there is a difference, I never really noticed it because it seemed like whoever I meet now, it kind of seems like I meet them on accident, I guess. But it's been a while since I met anyone in a big band. Like, say, take like a band like, I don't know, Creator, Destruction, Obituary, some bands of that size. I'm trying to think when the last time I actually met someone. I mean, I did meet the King Diamond in 2019, but that was that package I told you guys I paid for. They were selling the packages, and it was just kind of like a fucking fist bump and a photo, so I don't even know if it kind of counts. So, and then not to mention, like I said, of course I can. I mean, I fucking paid for it, so I got access to it. But as far as like meeting them because they're hanging out in the crowd, yeah, I can't think of anybody because the last time even like Deicide play, I saw that was in May of 2019. I've been meaning to get my picture with Glenn because like I told you guys the story of meeting Glenn. I met him in 2001. I did get all my stuff signed, but you could tell he wasn't in a good mood. So I wanted to get my picture with him, but I didn't because I didn't want to like, kind of press my luck. But I'm kind of kicking myself to this day. I really wish I would have got my picture with Glenn Benton. And nonetheless, I still want to this day. And I was hoping to like at that show or whatever. If I didn't make a strong effort, like where's he at? Asking around, I'm sure I could have, and could have asked people that are at the venue or whatever that know a person that knows a person that knows a person. You know what I mean? I'm sure I could have made it happen. But nonetheless, what I'm getting at is he wasn't just walking the fuck around. At least he wasn't at that show. And Deicide's basically the same size as Obituary, right? So in my experience for that, Deicide wasn't, and what band was open? I think Origin opened for them, and actually those guys might have been walking around, so they'd be on the same level, kind of as you said, Gatecreeper and Enforcer. They're not a new band, but newer compared to Deicide, and definitely smaller than Deicide, and I think those guys were kind of walking around. So it was the opposite we said. So I don't think that's an ongoing trend. That could just be a one-off. But like I said, some of the legends, they probably should be in the crowd and shit like that. I mean, because in all honesty, too, like live bands, like let's say when Deicide waiting to play, there's 3 bands opening or whatever. Same with Obituary. I mean, realistically, what the fuck are you doing beforehand? You're at the venue, why, just sitting on your bus or whatever. I mean, as long as assuming you got a full night's sleep or whatever, it's not like you're practicing or anything. They're just sitting there scratching their asses. Go and hang out with the fucking fans. It's kind of like your due diligence at this point, I guess. If I was in their shoes and I was quote unquote, I guess, famous, I would. It's like these people are the reason you're where you're at. Without them, you got fucking nothing. So yeah. For Mushroom League, do you like Jamie's band Boulder? I got to see them many times at Peabody's and speak in tongues, and they were always amazing live, blowing off fireworks and shit. I actually associate him more with Boulder than I do Midnight because those albums had such an impact on me growing up. Thanks for the videos. I do like Boulder, and I don't know if I own everything by them. I think I own 2 or 3 LPs. I don't think I own any CDs. And then I own 2 7-inches for sure. They're the split with Nunslaughter. And the 1/7 was probably my favorite. It's been a while since what's it called? It's a black and white cover. I think it's 3 songs. Forget. I think everything that I bought from by Boulder was from My Mind's Eye, and it was I think I got it before Midnight was around at the time when I got it, but I didn't realize it. It was Jamie's band, or I forget what it was. I think it's just Charles or somebody that said, "Oh, you'll probably definitely like this," and so I checked it out, and I do like it. I mean, it's been a while since I listened to it, but yeah, I need to definitely bust it out and give it another spin. But I definitely know I like it because I've heard it several times and own it and remember liking it. But I never did get to see them live. That was probably, I don't want to say before my time because I was going to shows in the late '90s and stuff. But maybe they were kind of like, I guess I just didn't know about them. Yeah, but I definitely didn't know about them. But maybe like it's hard to say because any metal show I was kind of going to, I don't just one of the shows I didn't hear about. I guess you know what I mean. Because yeah, like when I finally heard about them, it was definitely the 2000s, and Boulder was already for sure done at the time too. So some comments here, nothing really eventful to mention. Uh, Kind of a similar one. Human Brisket. Maybe he asked this. I think I just did this video, a recorded video yesterday. I haven't posted it yet. Should be up by the time you see this one. I'm assuming it's him because he's asking about Nunslaughter splits, and I commented on the video, but it looks like he's saying others he'd love to see these, and I guess I kind of have a little bit of a comment I could say on this. Uh, hey J Dog, as a fan of Nunslaughter and the quality of your Hell's Headbangers releases, here's a few more suggestions. Oh, so it sounds like he did leave it last month. A few more suggestions on Nunslaughter splits that I would love to see as a fan. Nunslaughter Pharmacist, Nunslaughter Cadaveric Incubator, Nunslaughter Lymphatic Phlegm, and Nunslaughter Fluids. So that's pretty fucking funny. Again, like I was saying in the other ones, I commented as Nunslaughter, a couple were released, and I told some story about the time about the Nunslaughter hemorrhage. Is Don actually asked me really recently, maybe about 2-3 months ago, hey, who's some bands you recommend like to do some split 7 inches with? He's like, because I'm kind of running out of ideas and a few bands flaked, etc. He's like, and who would you think like whose bands that you would like that you would think be fitting? And it's funny, I told him about Pharmacist. So go check them out or whatever it is looking at. And then I also mentioned Fluids, and he thought that was a good idea because he actually does like Fluids. He knew who they were and he likes them, and so he swung it by Chase, and from there, Chase was like, yeah, let me ask because we obviously work with Fluids, and the guy got right back and said, yeah, I got stuff ready to go. So Nunslaughter will be doing a split 7 inch with us with Fluids, so that one is happening. So don't know when or what, how many songs, but that was the last I heard. I was like, oh, cool, there you go, man. You asked me for an idea. There was one. It was a good one, and it went through. Both bands were for it, so yeah, that one would kill. But Nunslaughter, yeah, Pharmacist would be fucking awesome too. And theoretically, seeing how Pharmacist is pretty much cranking out material because they've only been around when they start 2019 or whatever. The full length came out in 2020. They have a bunch of releases between the at least Corner Metal Archives, the splits. I definitely haven't heard everything. I only own what I own. Like I said, those 3 LPs I showed: the split with Fluids, the full length, and that other LP, which is not a full length, but it's like an EP and a demo on there, and then the CD of the full length. I don't own any of the cassettes or anything, so that's it. So there's other stuff that I don't even have, but nonetheless, obviously they're steadily writing songs. So yeah, and I know Don likes early Carcass, so I was like, dude, I know you like Symphonies of Sickness and Wicked Putrefaction, so I was like, check out this medical renditions. Whether they listen to it or not, I don't know. I was like, you're definitely not gonna think it sucks. 100% for sure, not gonna think it sucks. So I'd have to follow up with them if you listen to it, but that would be another cool split. I agree. From Goatman, comments and everything as well. Great video, man. Any opinion on the band Ancient from Norway? I think they get a lot of undeserved hate personally. Yeah, I like some of their stuff. I think Ancient is I don't know tons by them, but I've known about them since my teenage years. I forget what disc I own. Is it from the I forget which one. Basically, Ancient, when I listen to them, is they definitely have songs I like and they definitely have songs I don't like. I guess that's the best way I could describe it. All in all, I think it's a solid band. Yeah, as far as the hate, I don't know what's the hate. Maybe is their image or whatever. I mean, their image looked a little. Don't they have a female in the band? Maybe their image looked a little bit gothy slash black metal. I didn't think much of it. It kind of looked a little bit medieval times. I could see where it's maybe a little gothy looking um, from stuff I've seen. But I mean, and then the really earth stuff, yeah, no, it looks kind of just pure black metal. But I think they kind of got a little bit more on the later ones, a little bit more commercialized looking. But that's maybe that. I'm just grasping at straws here. Is that what you said? They got hate. I don't know why they got hate. I mean, yeah, it was another black metal band, and I thought they had definitely good songs. I mean, so either you like them or you don't. I don't know why unnecessary hate for them, unless there's something I don't know about them. Cardiac Arrest. What do you think of the newer Necrophobic albums? Dug the last two they did? Well, not Nocturnal Silence or anything like that. They still very good, I thought. Yeah, I don't know. All the later ones, I don't know, but I never heard. It's kind of like they're kind of in the category as like Vader. Who's another band that's been around forever and I've never heard of? Just I went to go see Overkill last night, for example. That's like a thrash metal band where I don't know every Overkill album. I've heard a bunch of later ones, but and I, I'm not like fully in tune with them all. But I never heard anything that sucks. I've heard ones that like albums I'm like and songs kind of like this is kind of a filler, but also on the albums, it's got a couple good songs I really liked, but nothing that was deplorable and complete trash. That was kind of my opinion on Necrophobic. I never heard anything that completely sucked. Definitely heard it, and maybe it just like I forgot about it or whatever. The last one that I know, the latest one, what is the blood? Is it Blood Hymns or is it Third Antichrist? Because I like both of those. I forget which one's last. So whichever, or is it? Yeah, because I get them. I just know Nocturnal Silence is the first one. After that, the rest of the album order they kind of blur together because I'm pretty sure I got all of them at the same side. Was there Dark Sides, Blood Hymns, and Third Antichrist? Those are the ones I know, and that, but I forget the order of them. Maybe Third Antichrist. It's either Third Antichrist or Blood Hymns. I'm pretty sure is the last one. I know that's a while now, but those are the ones I own and know. And I have, like I said, like you said, heard. I don't know if I've heard the very last one, but I've heard more modern ones. And yeah, nothing sucked. And they played here in Cleveland. It's been a while now, and got my picture with them too, and I'm fucking on Easy E's phone, and I've never seen it to this goddamn day. So it's like I hate when I get fucking photos, man, and it's on somebody else's phone because I never see the goddamn thing. And it's kind of like, well, why did you get it onto somebody else's phone? It's like, mine wasn't out at the time. They're like, hey, they called me over and I wasn't expecting it or whatever. Maybe my phone wasn't working or at the time I had a flip phone or whatever the fucking case was. But that was when Necrophobic played. It was about 6-7 years ago, something around there. And yeah, they were really good live too. That's the only time I've seen them. So, and they were obviously playing. There was definitely songs I didn't recognize, but everything sounded good. So, yeah, solid band all in all. But yeah, I can't say that I'm, I know it like Cannibal Corpse or anything. I can't say that. Metal Musician 6996. Hey, J Dog, I had two questions. I think you said your first show was Death. Was curious if you got to meet Chuck. Also, since shows have been coming back after cornhole virus pandemic, what are some good shows you've attended in 2021, 2022, or are looking forward to attending soon? Good questions. I did not meet Chuck. It was a handshake on the stage. I was on front row, and like when he came out, just that type of shit. So I don't consider that meeting him. Would have been cool to say I did, right? Met him and got my picture with him. Because after that, '98, I remember there was the benefit shows for Chuck. What was it? 2000, 2001? Because it was only a couple years later. He was sick and then he died. So would have been, yeah. That's why a lot of these guys too. I make an effort, like, not to sound ultra fucking grim, but let's call it like it is. Guys like Gunn Bletton and shit. I mean, I doubt they're like the fucking epitome of health. They're probably just average guys, but like probably drinking alcohol more often than they should be, possibly smoking cigarettes, smoking pot regularly, kind of like regular style lifestyle, but maybe a little less healthy than that. It's called like it is, man. They're not going to live a very long life. They're not going to make it to 80 years old, more than likely, at least on paper statistically. So, I mean, and Glenn's already his 50s, so, if he dies in 10 years or so, or 15, it's like, he's got that's his time now. I kind of want to say I met him. I mean, he's one of my favorite bands of all time, and in my opinion, a death metal legend. And yeah, so that's kind of what it is too. Like for example, I had my picture with Doc from Vader. Maybe I busted out one of these times, and he's dead. You know what I mean? And there's tons of people in the body going, well, I got my pictures with that are dead. Those guys are fucking holy fuck me dead. In the last 5 years, they're dropping like flies. So there's a lot of guys. It's as morbid as that sounds. It crossed my mind because it got to the point in the last 5 years. I've like, holy fuck, I met this guy and he's dead. Met this guy, he's fucking dead. I got my picture with this guy, he's fucking dead. And it's kind of like it's becoming like more and more aware, especially as I'm pushing the age 40. It's all mortality is always in the back of my mind. It's like when you really break it down, it's like you don't have that much time left on this planet, and that's it is what it is. I'm not fucking stressed out about it or whatever, but it's kind of like that's why I'm not wasting time on things like I live my life how I fucking want. I'm not gonna not go to shows because you need a backwards card or any of this other fucking pansy shit where people just stop living their lives. I know a few people where they're just completely pathetic. They stop living their lives and they're letting basically getting pushed around by what's being told them to do. I refuse to do that. I'm going to live my life the way I want it because it's kind of for that reason. Like I realize it because, like I said, guys, a lot of these stories I'm telling you and shit, I was like 16, 17, 18 during those, and now I'm 37, so like 20 years ago, and it literally feels like it was fucking yesterday. So another 20 years, I'm going to be damn near 60. And, how much longer am I going to live after that? So it's going to be gone before you fucking know it. So I'm going to do the shit I like to do. And yeah, to stem into your next question, And I have been. I can go on shows like just last night we went to go see Overkill. That was a good show. So since post pandemic, what else have I seen? I've seen Nunslaughter. They do 2 shows. 1 show for sure. I've seen Nunslaughter. Saw American Werewolves. That's a Misfits punk horror punk type worship band here, a local band here from Ohio here. They have several albums under the belt. Been around quite a while. Really good band if you like that style. Saw that. Saw then another time. Yeah, I did see Nunslaughter for sure twice. Another time was Nunslaughter with Embalmer. And who else played that? Nunslaughter and Balmer and drawing a blank. Why can't I think of who the fuck else played that? But that show, post COVID, post something else. What else was really big? I know that it was something at the Foundry was shoulder to shoulder. Drawing a fucking blank, but a couple other shows. And then as far as coming up, possible Maryland Death Fest I'd like to go to. I heard Malevolent Creation is playing coming up. I gotta look it up. Here in Cleveland, they're doing the entire Retribution album. I'll definitely go to that. And there's a couple other things coming up that I heard about. Drawing a blank, but there is some stuff that's coming up that I'll go to. And God, I know I'm forgetting something. But yeah, I've been going to shows just as much as I was, as long as they're coming up. As long as they happen. You know what I mean? None of that fucking Wimpid shit's gonna stop me from going, doing what I want to do. More just comments. From Jimmy B's asking about band. Have you heard of Order of the Dead from Rochester, New York? Black and Death, amazing band. Anywho, you bra rule. Thanks, man. No, Black and Order of the Dead. No, that doesn't sound familiar at all. Can't say I have heard of them. Newer band, older band. Oh, looks like someone replied to them. What do they say? Damn, I'm from that area. Gotta check. Oh, sounds like Suppo Death says this. Damn, I'm from that area. Gotta check them out. Sounds like he's from that area. He's never fucking heard of them either. And from Gray Area 51, what up, dog? Just wondering what you think of the newer Sinister albums. I gotta be honest with you, man. I don't like them. What's the last one I really liked? My favorites are Aggressive Measures Down. My favorite is all the shit with Mike singing. So the first 4 releases would be Cross the Sticks, Diabolical Summoning, Hate, and Bastard Saints. Those 4 releases. Bastard Saints is an EP. But I thought Aggressive Measures, even though they changed singers, that was a tour, by the way, I saw them with. It was Sinister with Rotting Christ. And that was whatever year that was, 99, 2000. It was at the Flying Machine. Total fucking ghost town. And I met all the guys who were in the band at the time. And I remember the drummer, the only original member of the band now. How do you even say that guy's name? Is it Odd? I say Odd, like ODD, or is it AAD? I just spell it because I'm like, how the fuck do you pronounce this? I remember meeting him, and his English was horrifically bad. He spoke barely, at least at the time. He didn't speak any English. I think he spoke some, but it was, at the time, he was probably the most broken English person I ever met, because I met several other, even up to that point, I've met several other foreign bands, but his was like, yeah, I was, oh shit, he could barely get by. But so what is it like? So Sinister, they isn't he like the singer now? Which was weird. That was another thing too, was like, one of the things I really liked about Sinister was his actual drumming, because they had lots of blast beats, but he had I don't know what it was about, because I'm not a drummer. I don't know. I'm sure some drummer could distinguish what this is. He had a distinct sound. Like his blast had literally a distinguished sound. Like you could walk in and be like, oh, it's Sinister, just by his drumming. And then now he stopped playing drums and he sings on the albums. I'm like, what the fuck, man? And it's just generic death metal. And listening to later albums, I'm like, it's not that they're terrible albums. I'm like, this is just kind of like what the guy asked for modern death metal. This is just modern, generic, nothing there death metal. I was like, there's nothing standouts about it, as opposed to early Sinister. It was great early 90s stuff, great, awesome songs. And they were Sinister, you know what I mean? They didn't sound, it was brutal death metal, but they didn't sound like Morbid Angel. They didn't sound like Cannibal Corpse. They didn't sound like Deicide. They didn't sound like Immolation. They didn't sound like fucking Suffocation. I mean, it was another brutal death metal that was distinguishable, as opposed to now with a lot of all death metal bands out there. They put out an album, just throw a fucking dart. They're all at the goddamn board. Just pick one. It all sounds the same. I can't tell the shit apart. That's kind of what I thought about it. Now, probably the last 5 albums or so I haven't heard. The last one I liked, though, was Creative Killings with Rachel singing. The second album she did, that was I forget what that one was called. That was the first album I listened to and I stopped liking, and I checked 1 or 2 out of the later ones, because the second one with Rachel, again, I can't think of things on the tip of my tongue. But anyways, I remember I just thought it was boring as shit. It's been well over 10 years since I've listened to it. And then I kind of like wasn't paying attention to them, and then a couple of their albums came out, and I went back and listened to them. I'm like, oh god, these don't even sound anything like fucking Sinister. Just like Deeds of Flesh. Some of their latest ones, like I think I did check out is that Nucleus album, the new one, or maybe it was the one before. I think it was the one before that actually. I listened. I'm like, what the fuck is this? More just generic death metal that sounds like nothing sounds like Deeds of Flesh. Doesn't sound even remotely. I'm like, if someone put that in the shop, I walked in, like, hey J Dog, who we listening to? I'm like, I have no idea who the fuck this is. I'm like, come on, man, gun to your head, like you got to get it. I don't know, dude, blow my brains out. I have no idea because it sounds nothing like the early Deeds of Flesh shit. So I kind of put them in the same camp as Sinister. So yeah, last album by Sinister I like is Creative Killings. From Life Eternal, is there a Cleveland style pizza? I'm in Illinois, so we got our deep dish here. Did you dig the new Midnight record? I did dig the new Midnight record. I mean, it's not my favorite record by any means or anything like that, but I did like it. And there's no Cleveland style pizza that I'm aware of. Cleveland sucks shit in general, so that's my take on it. Everyone here thinks like the Cleveland Pride, like the land, and so it's the douche land, man. If you, like all these prideful Cleveland guys are usually the douchiest motherfuckers you'll ever meet. Henrik K and Merciful Fate are kind of reunited though. Yeah, I know. But they're only doing shows here and there, and they're all scheduled in Europe. Waiting for them to do some U.S. tours. I mean dates, and I will definitely go to them. At least close by. I'm not going to drive like fucking 8 hours or anything like that. But if it's either they did Pittsburgh and shit like that, which is like 2 hour drive, I'd go. But preferably goddamn Cleveland, so it's 30-minute drive for me. Last one on Earth. What's up, J Dog? Are you a Valence fan? If so, have you checked out their new track, "Let the World Burn"? The early stuff I thought was okay. They were a band I heard really, really late when I was already kind of like, I don't know what the word would be. That's I was kind of like, yeah, I'm kind of over it. Like it's got to be something that really hits me. Um, yeah, I thought they, especially I did re-listen to them again. Some of this older stuff got reissued, came through. I'm like, I mean, it's good. It's good solid metal, but it wasn't something that like hit me real hard. I was like, I gotta go out and buy this, but it's just okay. And then the newer stuff, I never heard the newer stuff. Just the first two albums I think I was all I've ever heard. Newer, definitely not. I haven't never heard. From Dan Van Dam, do you like any Japanese metal bands? Well, yeah, Pharmacist. I mean, at least one of them. I looked it up. It's one of the guys from like Ukraine, which is weird. And the other guy's from Japan. I don't know like what the deal is with that. Don't really care. It's none of my business. But it's just I don't know. I don't know how they collaborate that. Either way, I'd be kind of interested in that. So Pharmacist, Sabat, obviously. Sabat, the album Evoke, that's probably one of my favorite. I consider that black metal. What do you consider fucking Sabat Evoke? Sabat Evoke, Sabat and Venom, Disembody, Fetishism, those albums. I consider that black metal. And if so, that's one of my favorite black metal albums of all time. Other bands from Japan. I like Butcher ABC is good. Crowley, their old heavy metal band, Crowley. That's really good. Drawing a blank. I know there's other bands, of course. I mean, there's definitely bands from Japan that are really good. I know the Devils are just shouting about, "Come on, J Dog, this blah blah blah." I'm drawing blanks, but yeah, no, I definitely do. I'll definitely have some bands. So those ones that I just mentioned. L, just the letter L. Are you a fan of Bloodspill from Texas? It was okay. I've always had for years that demo disc that what's that label called? He does like Profanatic and shit like that. He does a release seems like every few years. Um, it, it it was okay. It was kind of cool, but the songs were really fucking long and excessive. Solid metal, but it's kind of like for a while there, and it is still my preference. Don't get me wrong, but for a while there, almost anything, let's say 87 to like 92, if it was in death metal and it was a demo, 98% chance guaranteed I would love it, right? And it got to the point where that's almost. I mean, that's what I was primarily always checking out. And again, that is still my preferred stuff. But it got to the point when I finally caught on when I heard so many of them, where I'm just like, some of these don't have enough character for me to care. It's kind of like it's no different than if you check out albums, just name any era of whatever, black metal, death metal, whatever. It just all starts to blur together and starts to sound the same. Bloodspill is kind of like that. It's like there's nothing overly unique about it. It's kind of black and death in there, but it's like the songs aren't really that memorable and they're definitely excessively long. So it's kind of like, as opposed like I keep telling you guys that demos, like a band like Devastation, Chicago, like these demos, like holy shit, these fucking kick your fucking asshole into your stomach. You know what I mean? Bloodspill is just kind of like, put on the background. It's a death metal demo in the background, but they had their place. What was that? What was it, 89, 90 demo? At the time, did they play a show with Necrovore? Like for example, the Necrovore, the classic Necrovore, that's like epic, awesome, and it just had its own character and songs in a sense. Like Bloodspill just didn't have that effect on me. Definitely didn't think it sucked. Just kind of like yeah, just it blends in with it just blends in with the rest of the crowd of the stuff that I didn't like. It didn't like blow me away. So, last goddamn question, and then what's that, 30 minutes? That's perfect. From Human Brisket again. Hey, Jerry Dog, do you like Patologicum? I guess it's the band. Well, there's one reply to this, too. Good shit from Poland, underrated. Apparently, it's good shit from Poland, and it's underrated. I haven't heard of them. I don't even recognize the name. It sounds like by the name of it, Patologicum, it sounds like it's going to be some gore grind, porno grind stuff. If it's a newer band, there's a possibility I like them, but it's just a high possibility. I'm probably just like kind of like what I was saying for Bloodspill. It's just like if it's like been there, done that, then I kind of like probably won't. I'll just be like, yeah, it's background because again, like it's totally fine if you don't have to be new and original for me to like it. But if it's the same old, it's got to be like songs that really stand out that are like super fucking catchy, shit that just almost like just gets your adrenaline going, right? And 99 times out of 100, that's never the case. It's just kind of like, yeah, it's cool. Put it on. I'll pack up some records and get some work done, reply to some emails, and have the background. But who knows? Maybe the greatest thing ever. But yeah, I don't know. But that's my initial guess is it's gore grind, fucking porno grind type stuff, just off the name. But the reply was it's fucking Polish underground. I mean, Polish underrated metal. Who the fuck knows? Keep it in mind. Don't even think it came to the shop. As I said, the name doesn't even look familiar. So that's it for this one, Devils. I knocked out all the goddamn questions on that video. Keep them coming on this one, and I will apply to this one too. Who knows? Probably fucking 2 weeks after this, you'll see replies for this goddamn video. But anyways, put them in there. They'll let you get answered. Leave them in there, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.